Hey Charlie, how you doing?
Hello, I'm doing good. How you doing?
Yeah, great. Thank you. I'm just going to admit everybody. One sec. Okay, can you guys hear me clearly?
Yes.
All right, cool. I'm just waiting for everyone to join in. Kick off in a sec.
Can you hear me, Charlie?
Yes, I can. Can you hear me?
Yeah, hi.
Hi, how you doing?
Hi from Northern Arizona. I know you're in Brooklyn.
No, from the Bronx.
Right?
From the
From the
front?
Bronx?
Yes.
Yeah, the Bronx. Yeah, I saw that.
So I'm just going to unmute everybody.
Oh, there's Michael. Christine and Darlene.
What's the time by you in Australia now?
12:30.
Okay. Yeah. I'm going to try to find a time that's good for everybody. So we might just do 2 classes depending on how it suits everyone. Hey, Avichai. Cool. All right. And Antoinette, whereabouts are you?
I'm in Northern Arizona. It's 7:30. It's a good time. I just had another class at 6 in the morning.
Okay.
Hey, hi everybody.
Shalom.
Boker tov, shalom aleichem. It's good to see all these wonderful faces.
Do you need the door shut?
Lechem shalom.
Sorry guys, I'm just okay. I'm here. I'm present.
Right, you ready to kick off?
Yes, let's do this.
Excellent. So, who else we got? Hi, Hannah. How you doing? Okay, so guys, thanks so much for joining. And it's really, really appreciated. We'll just fill you in a little bit. So I was discussing with Uzia if we're going to make other times depending on when's most convenient. So if you can just message me when's good for you. If this time works for you, then we'll keep this as the main class and do another class at another time for people that are somewhere else. So I just have a brief introduction. So Kelly, hi, how you doing?
Hello. Hi. Well, thanks.
Good. And I've got Avichai. I haven't met you before. Good to see you. That's a welcome. Uzi, I've never seen you before, but good to see you.
No, I hope. I don't even know who you are.
Okay, Hannah.
Hi.
Hello, Captain. And Carter, good to see you. You made it. Good. Did you get your book? Well, it's on the way. So we're getting
It's
that.
on the, it's on the way. It's on the way. Thank you. Yeah.
Just having a little bit of a technical glitch, but we're getting there. And then with
Okay.
Christina, are you there? Can you hear me?
Yes, me and my mother, Darlene, are here. Hello.
All right. So welcome.
Hi.
Okay. So I just want to give you a little bit of a introduction of what we're going before we jump into the lesson. So my main idea for this class is more than just about having a lesson. I actually want it to be, a support group and a place that we can actually depend on each other and rely on each other, share thoughts with each other, feel free to ask questions. And I know you're going to have a lot of questions coming up. Okay, and the idea behind this is, I'll tell you how I got involved. So I've been teaching conversion program for a long time, and I actually wanted to start my own for quite a while. And
I've just lost audio.
Yes. So,
Okay.
I just want to fill you in. It can get
We
rough.
all lose audio.
Yeah.
So
My internet connection is a little slow. Yeah, Kelly, was that you?
Yeah.
there we go.
Back.
You're back. Okay. So I actually, it can be a rough process, and what I want to do is to build the self-esteem and the confidence within you, so that you yourself are confident within yourself and you're able to handle and roll with the punches. Because it can, get tough. And I'm here. That's what I'm here from. Here we kind of climb the mountain together. So I'm here to fight for you and to take you to the end, please God. And and to have that self-esteem and that confidence, to know what you're doing, why you're doing it. If you have questions, don't feel free to ask at any time. There's no question which I haven't heard before. So if you want to do it privately, or you want to message me, and I'm happy to even do a personal video for you if that's something that you're interested in. So so that's kind of like the kickoff point for that. So I don't know if you want to share any thoughts, if you have any questions, you want to kind of introduce yourself.
Who? Anyone?
Okay. So I'm Uzia. I work with the rabbi, and
Of course, Uzia, you'd go first.
we wanted to put this together to make it easy for people to come in, to feel welcomed, and to feel embraced. I live in Providence, Rhode Island, and I'm excited to see everyone achieve a new level, a new height in their life and the journey, and to have the positive people that can influence them in a direction that will help their journey.
Who's up? It's a free floor. Make yourself at home.
Okay. I'm Antoinette. I converted in Reformed Judaism in 2014, but I'm not that liberal. But it's a little difficult because my conversion isn't really accepted in Orthodox circles. But it's not so much being accepted as it is, I just want to walk with Hashem and follow what I know is right in my heart. So I'm doing it. And I came to the class because I like learning and studying, and there isn't really any real study group. So I wanted to just be a part of the class. That's all.
Right, awesome. Cool.
Amen. Welcome.
Okay, who's up next?
Don't be shy, guys.
I think it's you.
Me?
Hi, I'm Kelly.
Darling?
Well, I'll try again. Hi, I'm Kelly, and
Kelly!
hi, Carla. And I'm really keen to gain understanding and just work it out. Whether conversion, I do have a desire. I'm here to work it out, and should be good.
Great to have you with us. Awesome.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay.
Oh, Kelly. Nice to see you, Kelly.
Nice to meet you.
All right, Carla, you're up.
Me.
No worries. Good day, mate.
No pressure. Just do it.
I know the path I'm on, and this is the right path, and I will be where I need to be in the right time, and there's a lot that is inside here that needs to come out, but it's just not ready to say it right now. So I guess when the time is right, it will come out. So, but it's bedtime here for me. So if I ever fall asleep at this time when we're having the classes, please wake me up.
We'll just mark it tardy.
It's even later for Kelly. It's actually later for Kelly in Australia than it is for me. So, but it's good. It's good to be here. So thank you. I'm glad to be here.
Great to have you.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us. Hey,
Thank you.
who's up next?
I'm next. Hi, Rabbi Michael. Good morning to everyone. I'm Charlie. I'm here to learn more about Judaism, the foundation of Judaism, and take it from there and see where it could lead me at. And I'm willing, to learn more, like I said before, because it's one of my things, and I'm trying to look for the right path. So I hope this is it.
He's got. We're here with you, and we're gonna take you there. In the direction that you need. We're here as a group together, and we'll figure things out. As we go along. And I want to keep this as informal as possible. Keep it real, so that we all kind of feel unity and acceptance, and we're all here for each other. So,
thank you
very much. Awesome.
Yay, Charlie.
Hello.
Okay, who's up next?
Is there only a few of us on here at the moment?
Yeah.
No, there's other people on here. They're just shy.
Oh, right.
Hannah, you can kind of step in, say hi.
Okay, so my name is Avishai. I live in the state of Georgia here in the U.S. I'm currently employed in the United States Army. I've done that for 6 years, and I'm still doing that now. And I've known Uzziah for, I think, 2 years now. I don't know, he's a great, very close friend to mine. He's like a brother. I've known him for a while now. But I'm here part of this group to learn more as much as possible. I'm always learning. And I hope that it will be an amazing experience. So I'm very thankful to be a part of this with everyone that's here. It's a pleasure to meet every single one of you guys. And Be'ezrat Hashem, everything will go well, and we'll all learn so much.
Amen. Welcome.
Amen.
Well, thank you for coming. Thank you. It's great to have you here. Okay, who's Hannah?
Hi.
Hannah.
Hi, Carla. Hi, everyone. I live in Oxford. I'm originally from South Africa, where Michael is sitting now, but I didn't know him in South Africa, so I still have yes, I'm just looking forward to learning and understanding a lot more and clearing some questions in my head, and that's why I'm here. So thank you very much for the opportunity and the platform.
Welcome, Hannah.
Say something.
Welcome. All right, who else? Christina.
Okay. And her mother.
And
Okay, well, hello everybody. Happy to be here. My mother just said I could speak for the both of us, so okay. Of course, we're both happy to be here. We wanted to have some kind of a group. We are on our conversion to Judaism journey. It's been many years coming. I'm not going to get into my whole story, but just very excited and looking to both of us looking to learn and to grow with other precious souls around us.
Awesome. It's great. It's great to have you
Welcome.
here. Thank you for joining us. So, okay, I'll kick off with my own little story of my. So today's class is we're going to be going through the book Fundamentals of Judaism. I think you should all have a copy. I'm trying to get everyone a copy. So the plan is to go through one.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, sorry, Antoinette.
The fundamentals of Judaism, is that the book you're using?
Yes, that's the book I'm using. So I wrote this back in 2014. My plan is to go through one class at a time. So we have sent out copies to most people. We're getting there. So if you haven't got your copy yet, it should be on the way. And then the website will have more resources. So we're working on that. So work in progress. So just, bear with us. We'll get there. So the plan is to go through one class at a time, and we are limited, I think, to a 40-minute session. Hopefully, we can extend that on Zoom. You know, if we do need to, and to have other classes as well. So that's just the format, and then on the website, I'll put up tests, quizzes, things like that, just another resources for you to make sure that you're getting it. And if you have any questions, you can always ask me. Now, what this book is, it's more of a user manual. So I know a lot of you are used to drawer, and that is a huge part of it. And I'll say it's like a sandwich. What you're going to learn with drawer, keep that going, and you can use this as to complement and supplement as you go along. My idea is that Judaism has a lot of stuff to do, a lot of rules, you could say. But if you're not plugged into it, and if you don't feel it, it can be a burden, it can be difficult to understand, and a lot of people burn out. And what I've noticed, especially, is that a lot of people get in with a lot of enthusiasm, and they want to connect to Hashem, and they want to do things for real. But once they enter a formal program, that lust, the desire goes away, and it just becomes routine. So I want to try and avoid that, to keep the spark alive, that you're still passionate and you're doing things with passion. That you should never lose that. That's kind of my goal, that you keep passionate as you go along. So that's kind of my approach. So today's class, so just to kick off, my own journey. So I've been teaching, probably since the age of 14 or so. I gave my first Talmud lecture at the age of, I think, 14. So I've been studying for a while. But I've noticed that, people aren't so real. And so my whole approach and philosophy is just to be authentic, to be real. I'll tell you my own personal story of how I kind of felt that connection to Hashem. And I was actually in Israel. I was living there at the time. And I had moved from South Africa to Israel. And I was staying in an apartment there. I was learning in yeshiva. And for whatever reason, the agreement ended, and I had seriously nowhere to go. I was kind of looking at living on the streets. So it was kind of the end of the road. I was at the time 18 years old, 19, and I was kind of crushed. I was kind of in a really bad space at that place. And I was walking into the street, and I said, "No, Hashem, God, where are you? Why aren't you helping? What's going on? Can you show me how you run the world? Can you help me?" And I was walking on the street, and there was a book vendor, and I came across this book here, Derech Hashem, the way of God. That was kind of, this book really changed my life, in a huge way. It was kind of, Hashem was kind of speaking, at that point to me, and just like saying, "I'm here, I'm with you." And that's kind of everything we need to realize, is that no matter how low you are, no matter where you're holding in life, no matter what's going on, we have so much stuff going on, and Hashem is with us. So that's something just to keep real, keep focusing, and there's a lot of ways, and there's quite a few practical tips I want to share from my own experience of how to stay connected, in the rough times, just to keep a positive attitude can sometimes be one of the toughest things to do. Giving up and kind of falling into despair is almost.
We're gone.
So the truth is that the first lesson, I wrote a different book on that. Some of you, I think, have read it. Okay. I do recommend you got your copy. Great. So in essence, when I was doing the first lesson, so I realized that there's too much to say about proof of God's existence. There's just so much that can go on, and there's just so much that needs to be said, which isn't said. So we will come back to this again and again and again, because it's kind of intertwined into everything. Whatever you're doing, whether you're religious, observant, wherever path you're coming from, you're going to continuously question your own belief. And believing in God is not something that you do once off. It's you have to ask yourself. There's a story with the Baba Sali, and he used to wake up every day in tears. And his students asked him, "Why are you crying?" He said, "I believed in God yesterday, but I still believe in God today." So that's a really, you got to keep real. You got to keep on asking yourself, am I still with it? Am I just in routine? Am I just going with the flow? You've got to keep staying, and a lot of that's got to do with this. Talking to Hashem, keeping Hashem alive, keeping Hashem real, and that's like the talking to Hashem is a huge factor, in staying alert and keeping your soul alive. So another thing you should know just about me is that I'm never going to tell you what to do. Kind of rabbi, and I personally believe it's none of my business to tell anybody what to do. I'll give you information, I'll guide you, I'll show you what I know, but I'm never going to tell anybody what to do, because it's your life, it's your choice, and I'll present to you what I feel and what I think. And if you have any personal questions, I'm happy to give you my opinion, what that counts for. But I'm never going to tell people what. I don't believe in that, in trying to tell people what to do. You've got to make your own choice, discover Hashem for yourself, and it's got to be real to you, for you. So the first lesson in Fundamentals of Judaism deals with the proof of God's existence. So just as a preamble to that, we say in the prayers, Avinu Malkeinu, which means, it's in Hebrew, Avinu means our Father, Malkeinu means our King. Now, Hashem relates to human beings in two different formats. There's Avinu, which is our Father, and Malkeinu, which is a king, more distant. And what that really means is, that it's brought by the Slanama. He says that Hashem, if we are united, if we are connected, we are one, we like brothers and sisters, then Hashem relates to us as a father figure. Right? And if we are distant, apart, and in conflict with one another, then Hashem is like an authoritarian figure, is distant from us. And that's kind of where the space we're in right now in the world is, that we don't have the unity which is needed. And that's why we don't feel Hashem the way we should be feeling Hashem. It's mainly because we aren't loving each other. There's not enough love in the world, not enough compassion, enough empathy, enough understanding. Right? And that's kind of also why I wanted this group, because Hashem rests in the place where there's love, where there's connection, where people sincerely care about one another. And if that isn't there, then God's a stranger to us. He's just an authoritarian figure. And that's something to bear in mind. So to think of God, can we prove God's existence? So in years gone by, and in places where there's a huge connection with people, and we're all feeling unified and together, we wouldn't even need to ask this question. Can we prove that God exists? It would be a given. There would be nothing even to question. No, it's only because of the state of the world and our friction with one another, the turmoil in the world, and just like our own personal stuff which makes us doubt, does God exist? But obviously, we built, and that's what Rabbi Chanan Wasserman says, is that we're actually built with a soul, and we have an internal mechanism inside of us. We know God is real. Okay, so it's just of uncovering the layers or standing in the way of us accepting that and acknowledging it. So in the class, so I wrote about something called cognitive dissonance. And that's something which is, I think, quite important for us. And there's two different kinds of faith in God. There's complex faith and there's simple faith. Now, complex faith is something which is, I don't know if any of you have ever taken it seriously to question God and question God's existence. Maybe some of you have read, Richard Dawkins, Sam Harris, gone down that road. So I did a quite an in-depth study, myself, and ended up looking at the rational arguments. And on the one side, if you say to someone, I believe in something, I can't see it, it's not there, am I crazy for even believing in that? Right, so there is a path to find God through that method, and that's what we call complex faith. And in my book of In Search of the Creator, so I do have a methodology for that, but I highly recommend not to go down that path, not yet at least, because you can get lost in the world of of rationality and not understanding, and end up not going to take you to where you need to go. The other method, which is kind of, we call it like the Breslov method, is a method of simple faith, and that's just accepting God is there, God loves you, He's there, with unquestioning, no doubts, just feeling it, being present, and that, since for me, I say, is probably the better method. And one is kind of a logical method, the other one comes from the heart. They both are needed. Right? There's two different types of faith, and they are both needed. And the reason for that, I think I once discussed it with Ashton, is that in times of crisis, when your emotions aren't in check, when you're going through a lot of stress, it's easy to lose faith in God. It's not hard to lose faith in God, especially if you feel disappointed. You've been praying for something, and you've been working hard, and you think you're doing right, and it's not difficult to lose faith. And you need to have a backup, a kind of a secondary system of saying, I believe in God not just because of how I feel, but because I've rationally come to that conclusion. So it's very important to have a rational understanding of God's existence. And as well, you can't just have only a rational, form of believing in God, because if it's just rational, you can turn into a zombie. And I've seen that so many times. So many people that, like robot, like the penguins, that we speak about, and the pandas, some of you know, right? So that's basically what it's about. It's someone who wears the outfit, eats the challenge, does the routine, but there's no heart. Right? And if you're serving God with no heart, it's kind of void, it's empty. So it can't just be up in the head. It's got to be a combination of in the head and in the heart, and each one has its place. So that's just something which I think is important to know, that the heart component, we have an intrinsic belief in God. It's there. And one of the ways, so that's something we should be aware of, that we have it. It's not something that needs to be, there's no work that needs to be done other than to recognize that inside of you already is a belief in God. Okay, so that's proof of itself. Now, if you want to take on, which with the lesson, which I did, was the rational proofs, which are important to know, and it's all part of something which is, call it, expected of you, or given that you do understand it. So there's two main proofs that's brought down in the oral tradition. So the first proof is what we call proof of, it sometimes goes in English in philosophy circles, they call it a proof of dynamic or constructionist theories. This goes by different names. But in essence, put it down into a nutshell, we have in the world, look at different creatures that exist in the world. So take animals, for example. Animals have a breathing system, lungs, have a heart that pumps, have a digestive system, a reproductive system, eyesight. So these are kind of, if you look throughout everything which is being created, you'll notice that there's kind of a trademark or underlying a theme, and it's kind of, if you have, for example, a Samsung product, you'll notice that it's branded in a certain way. There's a certain underlying feature which exists in every, take an Apple product versus a Samsung product. You're going to notice it's made by two different companies. They do things in a certain way. And if you look at creation, so the Sefer Yashar says there's only two things which are comprehensible to the human mind. The one is creator, and the other is the created. And anything, if you study the creation, that inevitably will lead back to finding the creator. So if you would study anything, if you look at the world, the complexity of the world and the systems which exist, I mean, there's some fascinating things. I personally find the human body to be one of the most complex organisms, and just the complexity of that, lends itself to the question, who designed it? What happened? So I'll share a little story with you guys. There was once met a rabbi, and he said, "Do you want to see a miracle?" So I said, "Sure, show me a miracle." So he takes out his finger and he goes like this, and he starts wiggling his finger. So I said, "Yeah, come on, I'm waiting for a show." And he says, "Here it is." Come on, what's going on? Where's the miracle? So he says, "What's making me do this? How can this happen?" I said, "Because you're moving your finger, what's the big deal?" And he said, "If you think about it, in a dead human being, in a corpse, the brain's still there, the organ's still there, the heart's still there, the lungs are still there, the kidneys are there, the bones are there, but there's no life. So what's the difference between a living human being and a dead human being? What actually causes life? What is life?" And that's really what the theory of creationism, looking at creation and understanding what is life. Now people say the heart beats because of this, because of that. Why? What's the piece of the process? And that's one understanding. The second understanding, which is also by oral tradition, that's actually relevant to what we're coming up to now, and that is the giving of the Torah on Mount Sinai. So in no other case do we have where there were approximately over 3 million people present at Mount Sinai who witnessed God. So God it's not like God doesn't exist. There has been a time in history, because what was recorded in which God presented himself to the people. So it's not just an abstract concept. There have been people who've been witness to God, not just one individual, but 3 million people did witness God. And that tradition's been passed down from one generation to another to another. And when we get to the history course, I'll be able to explain to you more how that oral tradition's been handed down. Now, in a way, the fact that Judaism still is alive and exists today is only because of that awesome event. I mean, you've had like the Mayans, the Incas, the Romans, the Greeks, the Syrians, the Persians. There's been many empires, many kingdoms, many groups, but they faded out with time. And what makes kind of the Jewish people unique in that sense is that we've kind of been going on for I think it's the second oldest religion. But the fact that it's remained intact is because of an event which occurred. So there is like a seminal event which occurred, and that's kind of the oral tradition. It's an unbroken chain. We call that in Hebrew Masorah. And those are the two basic premises, of why we believe in God. And it is important, as I said, to know it. And there are other scientific methodologies. And if you are interested in that, I have written about that. But those are the kind of the two premises. That one should never stray, and that was kind of the trick of the snake, the story of the Garden of Eden, was to cause confusion in man and to cause man to get overly complex. And you can go down a path of complexity, which may lead you up, in not believing in God. So it's really important, just to keep sticking at what we call simple faith, believing in God just because it's true, it's real. And I'm sure you can all share your own stories, and I'd love to hear from you. Things that have happened in your life that have shown that you've seen God for real. Like my little story is just one of thousands, of cases where I've seen it. I've seen things happen which should never have happened, and I'm sure we all have that. And I think part of being in a group is to share those experiences with each other, of incidences, just things beyond. So, guys, if you have any questions, floor's open for you. Anyone has any questions?
I ask if everyone can mute their mic, so when someone has a question, they can just unmute themselves, so we can listen to everybody. Thank you.
Okay, so who's up?
So are we asking a question about
If you have
faith?
any questions, feel free to ask.
Simple faith.
Yeah.
Just believe. Just believe. Don't even question anything. Just believe. Is that what you mean by simple faith?
Right. Yeah. So simple faith is basically, the premise is that you have a soul, and your soul is actually connected and believing without you being consciously aware of it. It's more than just believe without any reason. It's believing because you are alive and your existence.
Is that Jewish thought, Rabbi Michael? Is that Jewish thought to have that mindset of just simple faith? Because growing up for me, I had no idea what faith was, and only just recently have I come to understand a bit more about faith. And faith is not a simple thing sometimes, but is it a Jewish thought process to have that? Does that make sense if I ask that?
Yeah, so definitely. It's more than just what they call the leap of faith, where you're blindly walking into something without knowing. There's a concept of knowing God and understanding how God works. Simple faith means taking it at face value without questioning yourself. And that's really, there's a place for that. It comes from an emotional place as opposed from an intellectual place. And so there is that concept. And as I said earlier, you will need a combination of two types of faith to stick it out and to be able to be solid in yourself and to have that inner confidence. Because you can get bumped quite easily. So there is a place for simple faith, but if you don't have knowledge, then it's quite easy for your emotions to turn you, without hope. It's not hard for that to happen. Yeah.
I understand. Thank you. That was my question. So thanks.
Is anyone else?
Yes, me.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. So one of the things that I found challenging for me is finding my own path is one thing, knowing that my faith is strong is one thing, but having conversations with people that I grew up with, people that understood me to be a certain way and expect me to be still that way, and to be caught in a place where I don't quite know how to have conversations without having debates with other people. Yet there's certain things I'm no longer willing to do, and it's very clear to everyone it's been years. So to some degree, it's the arguing, if you like, of how can you deny Jesus, for example? How can you not believe that he's the Son of God? All of that, and I have my own stories. But what would you advise in terms of just holding steadfast outside of oneself when in conversation with people who doubt the faith that one holds inside? Thank you.
Okay, so I'll give you a piece of advice from Dale Carnegie. He says, you know, never, there's no winner to an argument. You know, because what happens is when you argue with someone, the people that you argue with will be even more determined that they are right than they were before the conversation. So you need to keep it internal, and it's got to be sincere and real for you. What I found is when you are connected to yourself and your inner passion starts coming out, then people become more accepting of you once it becomes real. Because at this stage, it may look something that's superimposed, it doesn't fit with you, it doesn't look like you. But when they start seeing happiness and energy flowing out of you, and that you now feel more content, more at rest, then they'll start realizing that the choice which you made actually worked for you. And only at a later stage will they be able to say, you're right, you know, when you were going down your route before. So expect it, and that's part of the knocks, you know. I've had many students that have gone through the, you know, literally pummeled, you know, excommunicated by family members, all sorts of stuff. That's very, very, very common. So I would say, do your own thing, believe in yourself, and that's what also part of having a group is for us to give each other support. When you're going through that stages and friends don't want to speak to you or family disassociates from you, and actually stick together and encourage and motivate each other to get through those hurdles. But what I found in experiences is that once you cross over and you actually start radiating joy and happiness from within, those people who are sincerely caring about you will come back. You know, I've never seen any sincere relationship that's broken because you've done what was good for you. You know, so let's hope that helps.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can
you hear me, Michael?
Sorry, it's just breaking up a little bit.
Okay, I'm sorry. It's hard. Can you hear me okay now? No?
I can, it's just a little unclear.
No? I was just going to ask Helen to private message me because I have some things I can share with her because I've gone through those experiences way long time ago.
Perfect. That's exactly the sort of thing that I want, you know, is that for everyone to kind of be a support to one another, you know, and to share those experiences. I found personally that when you think you're alone, and that's one of the tricks, it says by the Yetzer Hara, one of the ways the Yetzer Hara kills a person is to separate you and make you feel that you are alone, that you're the only person going through this. Never happened before. There's something wrong with you, feeling, and that's how you get attacked. And the best defense against that is actually to form a group, you know, to actually have that support. You cannot become immune to that. So yeah, for sure. You know, share, guys, support each other. We're here. I'm here. We're all here. You know, to help each other. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Can I just hear who was speaking, who was offering that I private message them, please? I didn't get your name.
Who was that? Was Sylvia? I think it was.
Antoinette.
Antoinette, sorry. Okay, sorry, Antoinette. So thank you. So Antoinette, you're on the group. You guys will connect with each other.
Rabbi, I have a question.
Yeah, sure.
This is Sylvia. You said that the soul is connected to Hashem already. Is that actually why there are some of us that are coming back to Him?
Very much so.
Okay.
intrinsically, you're only going to feel inner peace when your soul is at one with God. And what happens is that, like a little child, a baby, it's not born, with overly stressed. A child doesn't need to be told to be happy and to do it at once. It does it automatically. It's almost instinctual. So a lot of our behavior is learned behavior. We learn anxiety, we learn stress, we learn to worry. And the reason for that is as we age or go through different experiences, we become more and more layered or separated from Hashem. In reality, there's a little child that's inside of every person that's still there. That's our purest form of ourself, which is always connected to Hashem, and that's our connection to God. So it's kind of getting back to the inner self, like the inner you, which has always been there. And we just sometimes ignore ourselves. That's why we get, call it, distracted or lost or disconnected. It's just basically we've put up our own barriers. So I hope that answers, makes sense to you. Sure. Okay. Anyone else? All right, Gus. Any other questions? Charlie? Okay. Yeah.
Can you tell me describe more with the faith the faith with God, like how can we communicate or how can we pray? Because that's why it's no stupid question. It's like I'm a baby, would like to know things about Judaism, religion, and things like that.
Right.
Because how can I say this? I just don't bother to pray just to communicate with the creators. I just want to know what is the faith, what faith to do, or how can we pray to the creator.
Right. So the truth is that there's a verse in the Torah which says, God isn't far away from you. God is in your heart and in your mouth. So what that means is every time you open your mouth and say words which are truthful and sincere, God is with you in that present, in that moment. Now, it starts off can feel a little bit strange. It feels like you're talking to yourself. But in reality, yes, Carly has followed this, right? That's what it's all about, conversing with us. Think of a relationship with a human being. Now, when you meet somebody, you're going to ask them, what's your name? Like when we greeted each other, we were strangers. We asked each other, what's your name? What's your story? Where you're from? And we need to have that conversation with God. If we want to relate or have a relationship with Hashem, we need to, start talking. We need to start, and that's really where it begins. So, and it's a good place to start is even just to say, God, show me you here, like that happened to me. I started off from a place saying, if you're for real, show me.
Shalom.
If you, and that's
Another question: is a way to do it, or can we go to like a place? Is a way to do it like.
So having peace of mind is quite important. Just so that you can speak freely. If you're at work and you start shouting out, you're not going to be able to be yourself. So it's recommended, and Rabbi Nachman speaks about this a lot, going out into a field and more than just connecting with nature, it's about being in a place where you can express yourself without any judgment or fear of what you have to say. So it's okay even to shout at God, to question Him. and to be real. That's what it's all about. Just to say, God, if you're there, show yourself to me. I really want to be with you. Where are you? And that's something which God actually wants from you to do. He wants you to connect. And it does at first, I'll be honest. It takes time for it to go from being peculiar and kind of what am I doing, to becoming, you're actually going to start seeing things happening. You're going to start feeling something inside of yourself becoming alive and awake, and the new feature of yourself will start awakening. That's the best advice I can give is find some quiet time. Start off even really small, 2 minutes a day, and just some quiet time, and just say, God, I want to know more. Just be honest. Just say what's on your mind. Say, I don't know you. I want to know you. I want to know more, and direct me in the right direction. I just, that's really the starting point. Okay. And also, feel free to connect with me and with other people in the group. There's quite a lot of people in the group that are involved in that practice, and will also help to give you guidance and support in that area.
Can I say something?
Yes, sure.
Can I say to who was talking just before? Was it Charlie?
Yeah.
Charlie, I was once there where you are now, and I come across Ravdraw, and he spoke about what they call, and correct me if I'm wrong in this, but the Jewish prayer, which is Hitbodedut, and you do it in the morning or at night, and you spend the time with Hashem, and you just do it I started for 2 or 3 minutes in the morning, because I find that's where I find my solitude with Hashem. And I go outside, even in the middle of the early hours of the morning, I go outside 2-3 minutes, and nothing feels right at first. It feels very foreign. But as you persist, every day you'll increase a few minutes, and then you get 45 minutes and an hour, and people do more than an hour. So if you do that every day, you'll see your life change, and you'll crave that. You'll crave that time with Hashem, because He will sustain you for the day and give your neshama like so much strength. You've no idea. So I really encourage you to try it.
Thank
even
you very much, Paula, for that
today or
suggestion.
tomorrow. It's daylight there wherever you are in the world. When you get out of this group, just have a few minutes with Hashem, and He'll show you when the right time is for you to connect with each other, and it will glorify your life. Your relationship will be strengthened. So I just wanted to share that. So,
and I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome.
Okay. Thank you, Colin. And Charlie, just to add in, that is one thing you should know, is that when God put souls into the world, He didn't abandon the souls. He didn't just dump us here and walk off. I once spoke about that. It's like Hashem gave us a communication tool. If you would drop a kid off somewhere, you'll give him a cell phone and say, "Call me if you need help." And that's what Hashem did. He gave us the ability to connect and have that. And that's something we should never forget. That you have that. All you need really is your mouth and your heart. Those are your toolkit. Just to start plugging into spirituality. It doesn't take more than that.
Thank you, Rabbi Michael.
Pleasure. All right. Anyone else? Ashley's been really quiet. Any questions? All right, guys. Okay, so as I said, if there's anything, yes, Hannah, you got something? Yeah. You unmute yourself? Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. So I read this first chapter a while ago and I'd forgotten some details, but one of the things I wanted to ask is about tefillin. Can you say a little bit more also why women aren't using that, and just if you explain why it sits the way it sits on a person's body and head?
Sure, right. That's a great question. So tefillin is a mitzvah for men. In Judaism, there's a general principle that any positive commandment which is time-bound, a woman are exempt from. So tefillin is a mitzvah which is a positive commandment, and it's a daytime mitzvah, so women are exempt from that. It is brought that Rashi, if you look at, or we'll do history, we'll look at that. The daughters of Rashi did wear tefillin, so women are allowed to wear tefillin. It's just customary that they don't. But the concept of tefillin is to have something bound to your heart and something on your head. And that's basically the idea which we were saying before about having the complex faith and the simple faith working in unison. So we've got something on our head that's like the intellectual faith, as well as the heart, the simple emotional faith having to work in tandem. And that it's like two pieces. And that's kind of when we pray, we're connecting to God. We acknowledging that we're coming to God from two different perspectives. The one being in intellectual knowledge of God, and the other one being a feeling, an emotional. I love God because I love Him. And I can't explain it. I just have a love for God. That's yeah.
Thank you very much.
All right, awesome.
Anyone else? Okay, so and guys, so just to let you know, I do plan on making. If you have any questions, I will give you an email address as well. If you want to post me questions or privately on WhatsApp, and I'll make a short video for you just to address your particular question. If you want it to be anonymous, I'll do that as well. Or if you want your name, or if it's a particular situation, if you want some guidance, so I'm happy to do that. Also to refer you to anyone that. And don't be afraid to ask. There's no such thing as a stupid question. There's no such thing as a bad question.
Can I ask?
Yeah,
Can
sure.
I ask something? Are there 2 classes a week or just one?
So at the moment it's going to be one. I would like to have it convenient for everybody. So I know there's quite a lot of time zones going on. We've got people that couldn't make today just because of the time difference. So if you can just private message me times that are convenient for you, and I'll maybe make a time zone for different groups, and we'll have different sections of the class. So I do want to increase it as well, and eventually it'll be online so people can go further ahead or go back and watch and recap stuff. So we're working on it. Yeah. Cool.
Thank
A
you.
question, Rabbi Michael. So are we going to have this lesson every Sundays?
So Sunday's designated for now. Next Sunday is Shavuot, so we're not going to be on next Sunday, but we may have a catch-up lesson afterwards. So the idea for now is to do it once a week. We may increase that. We may also change the time. And for example, if you can't make this time, and there's others like you who find a different time, we'll do a class, on at a different time.
Another question. So this thing is going to work, the class? It's recorded. For example, it's my day off today. If you cannot do it next Sunday, the lesson is going to be recorded?
Yeah. So it's going to be recorded.
Okay.
I'm going to put it onto the YouTube channel. It will be on my website as well. So if you've missed it, you'll be able to catch up, and some of the classes will be linked. These classes are the first 20 or so are individual, but when we get into like the laws of Shabbos kosher, they will be built on one to another. So you will have to know what happened in the previous lesson to follow like a series.
So which is good. So it's convenient anytime then.
Yeah. My goal is that it should be as convenient and as smooth as possible, with as much support and encouragement. Okay.
We'll be praying. We'll be praying for it.
We need all your praise, and thank you guys so much. Okay. If there's anything I can do for you, we'll hopefully see you soon. And thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you. It was
All
wonderful.
Thank you for your
Cheers.
time, Rabbi Michael. Have a good one.
Thank you guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Go well. Have a good day.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Shalom, everyone.
Shalom.
Shalom.
Bye.